To begin assembly, we'll be installing the legs. To do that, we'll need the frame, the legs, 4 1/4-inch stove bolts, and 4 nylock nuts. As far as tools, we'll need a 7/16 wrench and a 5/32 Allen wrench. Make sure to start all 4 bolts before you tighten any of them down. Next, we'll be installing the backsplash and the backstop. To do this, we'll need the 2 number 10 Allen head bolts with lock washers and nuts. We'll need the 3-inch wide metal strip that is the backsplash, a 3/8-inch wrench, and a 5/32 Allen wrench. We're going to start by installing one end of the backsplash. Push one of the number 10 Allen head bolts through from the back. Place on a lock washer and nut. We're going to snug this down tightly enough that when we stand it up on its end, this won't flop around on us. Next, we're going to need the backstop and 2 of the 1/2-inch washers. There's 2 sides to the backstop. Make sure that the hinge bar is on the back. We're going to stand this up. We're going to place one of the 1/2-inch washers on the frame with the flat side up. We're going to stand the backstop up, place the other washer on with the flat side down. And now there's 2 pins on either side of the frame. Make sure that you're going in from above those. Push down lightly on the frame to hold the backstop in place, and then move the backsplash up and push a bolt through. Once that bolt is pushed through, everything should hold together on its own. We're going to put the other lock washer nut on the back and tighten them down. Your backstop should fall freely under its own weight. If you're noticing any binding issues, loosen one of the number 10 Allen head bolts, alleviate a little bit of the pressure on the hinge, and retighten the bolt. And that should fix any problems that you're having with that. Next, we're going to be installing the impact bar. To do this, we'll need the 2 1/4-inch hex head bolts, 6 1/4-inch flat washers, 2 nylock nuts, and the 4-inch wide piece of metal that is the impact bar. I'm going to push the 2 1/4-inch bolts through from one side. And place 2 washers on each bolt with the flat side up. I'm going to slide the bolts through the holes. And then place 1 flat washer flat side down and nylock on from the back. Take 2 7/16 wrenches and snug them down. Next, we'll be installing the reset bar. To do this, we'll need the 2 1/4-inch SAE flat washers and the reset bar. Take the washers and install them with the flat side towards the frame. Then take the reset bar, lower it into the frame, and while holding one side, put enough pressure on the other side so that you can move it over the pin. Swing the bar back and forth a little bit to make sure that it seats fully on that one side. Now, using a pry bar, lift just enough that you can get the arm over the pin and snap it into place. Your reset bar should swing free. In our final step, we'll be installing the targets. To do this, we'll need the 5/16 hinge pin, our targets, as many as 7 8mm flat washers, and a cotter pin. We're going to take the 5/16 hinge pin and start inserting it through from one side. We'll take a target with the hinge tube towards the back and place it over the hinge pin. Once there's enough space here, we're going to take one of the 8mm washers and place it over the hinge pin and take target number 4 and install it as well. You'll then push the hinge pin through the hinge pin support, and if you notice too much space in between the targets, you can install another washer between target number 4 and the hinge support to take up some of that slack. Take target number 3, place it between the hinge pin supports, and push the hinge pin through. Take target number 2, slide it on. Once there's enough room, take another washer and place it in between target number 1 and target number 2, and install target number 1 and finish pushing the hinge pin through. Don't put any 8mm washers between the frame and target number 1 or the frame and target number 5 to take up room. Make sure you're only placing them between the hinge pin supports and the targets. Now that the hinge pin is pushed all the way through, install a flat washer, a cotter pin, and use a pair of pliers to expand the cotter pin just enough that the cotter pin will not come out. And we have our completed resettable target set.